Hello, this is Modapo and Tyler Pennington. We will be presenting cognitive dissonance. This presentation will provide a comprehensive exploration of the theory of cognitive dissonance, beginning with a biography of the author, an in-depth explanation of cognitive dissonance, and research and examples of it. We will first start by explaining who Leon Festinger is. Leon Festinger is a famous American psychologist and researcher who developed cognitive dissonance. He was born on May 8, 1919 and died on February 11, 1989. He worked under Kurt Lewin as a research associate for 2 years and moved to Stanford, where he and his students conducted a series of experiments on cognitive dissonance theory. He published both comparison theory and then published cognitive theory afterward. Feeling a lack of progress, he began exploring prehistoric archaeology data and published a book called A Human Legacy. So, what is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance occurs when two conflicting beliefs or values lead a person to feel mental discomfort. Dissonance emerges when there is a decision to make and when new information is presented, primarily due to four factors: logical inconsistency, cultural mismatch, forced compliance, contradictory experience. There are different feelings of discomfort when dealing with cognitive dissonance: stress, guilt, shame, and many more. Cognitive dissonance can lead to all these uncomfortable feelings, causing a desire for change. To fix it, you can start by identifying what causes the discomfort and then adjusting your action to fix your belief. You can either do this by finding a new belief or eliminating those beliefs. By understanding and managing your action, you can reduce your emotional discomfort, foster personal growth, and create mental clarity. We will begin by talking about the summary of research using cognitive theory. A classic example of cognitive dissonance research comes from Festinger and Carl Smith, where participants were paid either $1 or $20 to tell someone a boring task was enjoyable. People who received only $1 ended up convincing themselves the task wasn't actually that bad. This showed that when people cannot justify their behavior externally, they adjust their attitudes internally. Another measure or research involves health behavior. Smoking is a well-known example. Many smokers know the health risk, but continue smoking. McMaster and Lee found that smokers reduce dizziness by downplaying the risk, comparing themselves to heavier smokers or telling themselves they will soon quit. This research highlights how people protect their self-image even when faced with strong contradictory evidence. Dissonance has been used heavily in political psychology. For example, Westlock showed that people exposed to information contradicting their preferred political candidate often ended up supporting their candidate even more strongly. Instead of shifting their attitudes, they work harder to defend their original beliefs. This explains why political conversation can get heated and why facts alone do not always change opinions. Consumer behavior is another area where cognitive dissonance appear. People experience post-purchase dissonance, especially after expensive purchases. To reduce the discomfort, customers look for positive reviews, talk themselves into believing the purchase was worth it, or avoid information that may make them regret the decision. This is why companies use return policies and reassurance messages after purchase. Reducing dissonance increases customer satisfaction. Dissonance is strongest when behavior threatens self-image, and self-esteem play a major role in how dissonance is experienced. Dissonance can be used to promote positive behavior. Cognitive dissonance is not just a theory researchers talk about. It shows up in daily conversation and decision. One of the most common examples happens when people justify choices they already make. If people start a tough workout routine, they may say things like this is worth it or need this, even when it feels uncomfortable. They are reducing dissonance by aligning their belief with their action. This is more everyday examples. Finally, in short, cognitive dissonance theory help explain why people communicate the way they do, how they manage stress, how they defend their beliefs, and how they make sense of their own choices. It gave us a clearer understanding of why people struggle with change and why consistency is so important in how we see ourselves.